Every person who has spent an Armory star has left a clue in the background. And if you know where to look, you can add all of these clues up. And with all of the clues involved, we can get the most accurate picture of how much CS2 makes in the Armory over time. So we'll look at just the 4 newest collections added to the Armory last month on July 8th, 2026. Arabesque, Spy Tech, Fruits and Veggies, and Auto Racing stickers. Because there's a lot of key information and nuances that people tend to leave out in the Armory graphics you may see online. And while nobody can actually get the full scope and get the full amount of money made by Valve, only they have it, we can get to the closest possible estimation, but it will be an underestimation, which I'll explain later. Because while it may be an off year for Valve, they're probably still making a stupid amount of money. And we first start with our skin collections. Now, looking at databases has 1 or 2 main problems. Firstly, the databases don't know how many actual Armory skins were pulled. Some people aren't registered on Float. While most people are, some people aren't, and I imagine some of those people are using the Armory Pass, which will of course skew our data lower than what it actually is. It's not going to skew the actual proportions though, because if 1 million people aren't registered on Float and they still redeem things, they'll still get them at the same rate as everyone else. It's just that our supply numbers will be lower than what they actually are. So this isn't too much of a big deal, but it will hurt our bottom line number at the end. The biggest problem is that skins, once traded up, disappear, and we can't really figure out a way to find out how many skins were lost to trade-ups, right? Once they're gone, the database removes them and we can no longer count them. If you've got CS2 or Rust skins just collecting dust in your inventory, get a free skin worth up to $50 on me. Use code MW9 on SkinSwap when you complete your first trade with my code. The trade skin swaps your old skins for new ones at the best prices available. The market page gives you access to buy Chinese market skins, cheaper than Western prices with no need for a Chinese ID, passport, or bank account. Use the sell page to cash out to PayPal, Venmo, or crypto with no need for KYC and a lifetime 3% bonus when you use my code. With their newly launched Trade Vault system, as well as daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways, SkinSwap is the most rewarding site on the market. Thank you, SkinSwap, for sponsoring this video. But how CS and CS skins work does leave us a few clues that we can still use to figure out how many skins were traded up in the game, and it's a pretty elegant solution. And that, of course, is our pattern index. As I'm sure you know, every skin in the game gets a random pattern seed from 0 to 1000. Each one has a uniform chance, which is what's really going to help us find our final number here. So getting pattern 1000 is a 1 in 1000 event, sometimes. And that's because pattern 1000 is unique in that it can only be obtained through a trade-up. You can never redeem a skin from a case or a collection and get pattern 1000. You need to trade it up. And that's a very huge detail, because pattern 1000 doesn't tell me how many skins there are, but it does tell me how many were traded up to. If a skin has 10 pattern 1000s, we can assume that there's 10 traded up skins for every pattern, thus 10,000 skins traded up to, and thus 100,000 fillers used. Yes, you don't necessarily need to use 10 of a skin from a collection to trade up to another skin, but if you only use 5, you have a 50% chance, and thus the output number stays the exact same. Expected value, very elegant. And this is very key to figuring out the actual number behind Valve's revenue in the Armory. Trade-ups do happen quite a bit. Without pattern 1000 existing, we probably would have a pretty decent underestimation of how much money Valve actually makes. Take the M4 Phallic, for example. 8 pattern 1000s exist in the game currently, which means that we can estimate, due to the uniform nature of pattern indexing, that 8,000 Phallics were created by trade-up, which means that 80,000 skins from the purples in the Arabesque collection were used to craft these 8,000 Phallics. And that's only for one pink skin, and the numbers get higher with every rarity tier you get. Obviously, trade-ups are cheaper with the lower rarity, so people do them more often. There are 13 pattern 1000s in total for the pinks in the Arabesque collection, which means we can estimate that 13,000 skins were traded up from other skins within the collection, and thus 130,000 restricteds were used via trade-up. We have 70 pattern 1000s for our purples within the Arabesque collections, which means that roughly 70,000 of them were created via a trade-up, and 700,000 mil-specs were used to get there. 161 mil-spec pattern 1000s were found in the Arabesque collection, which means that 161,000 skins were created via a trade-up, and thus 1,610,000 industrials were used. Now that is a lot of skins. Remember, each one of these skins cost 4 stars, so if we didn't count these, we would underestimate how many Armory passes are actually being spent just on the Arabesque collection alone. But when we take both gun collections, Arabesque and Spy Tech, we add all of their existing supply numbers, and then we add all of the recovered skins due to what we know about pattern 1000, we see about 11,400,000 roughly guns redeemed. And if you look at the distribution of the rarities with these two collections, it would look a little bit off at first. For one, Valve's odds for a covert are 0.13%, or roughly 1 in 750. But when you look at the distribution here, what's actually happening in reality, it's more like 0.25%. Now, that would lead me to believe that the data is wrong, but it's actually not, and that's because of how trade-ups work. Trade-ups are deflationary. Each rarity is 5 times more rare than the next. The lowest tier, Industrial, makes up 80% of your redemptions. Mil-spec or Blue makes up 16%. But when you do a trade-up, you have to use 10 skins for 1 mil-spec. So each trade-up you do gets rid of the lower tier skins from the supply, just due to how the skins drop rates work. And once we add those skins that were recovered due to our knowledge about pattern 1000, that 0.25 figure drops down to 0.12, which is almost perfectly in line with the 0.13 figure that Valve has made public knowledge. And next, we tried to find how much money Valve has made from stickers. Now, very notably on the databases, you cannot see how many stickers one person has in their inventory. Rather, you can only see what stickers have been applied to guns so far, which is going to make our process a little bit harder. The only thing we can do is find the most popular sticker within each collection and then work backwards from there. Take the fruit and veggies collection, for example. The lemon sticker seems to be the most popular, with roughly 6,000 of them applied across all guns. Then we take the pineapple pizza sticker, the lenticular one. It has only 200 applied. So the lemon should win, right? We should use the lemon to base our data off of. Well, not quite. The pizza is 125 times more rare than the lemon sticker. So those 200 applications are actually going to tell us a lot more than the 6,000 common ones do. Those 200 stickers that have been applied, with it being 125 times more rare, that's the equivalent of 25,000 of the lemon stickers being applied. So we're going to use the 200 figure and work backwards from there. Since each rarity tier is 5 times more rare than the last and 5 times more common in the other direction, we can work backwards to figure out how many stickers exist within each tier. If 200 of one red exists, then at least 200 of the other should exist. If 200 of the reds exist, then at least 1,000 of each of the pinks should exist, and at least 5,000 of the purples should exist, and at least 25,000 of the blues should exist. Which leads us to our final product. Auto Racing, with just the applied stickers and the knowledge we have of that, has used up over 24,000 passes worth of stars alone. Fruits and veggies, 8,000. Now again, one look at the community market, you could see listings that haven't been applied yet. People have stickers in their inventory from random redemptions that they've never applied. So we're never going to actually figure out or even have a way to estimate just how many stickers are sitting in people's inventories that will never see the light of day ever again. So this is going to be our least reputable of the data because we really have no way, but we do get our best estimate from using the knowledge that all stickers uniformly drop within their rarity tier, and thus using the most applied one will give us the theoretical minimum that we can have in the game in existence. So let's just take what we do know. About 1.14 million passes from the gun collections alone, and another 32,000 from the sticker collections, which is just under 1.2 million passes total. At $17.50 each USD, including the tax included, we get around $20.5 million in Armory Pass revenue in the past month. And of course, that doesn't include stickers that are sitting unused in inventories, or stars that people haven't spent yet, or people who've never registered with Float DB and thus have skins sitting in their inventory that have gone unrecognized. So that 20 million figure, it's an estimate, but it's the floor estimate. It could be so much higher, probably maximum 30 million in just the past month.